This is the second video in a new Macro Watch series examining the rapidly changing U.S. defense industry. This video will, 1, examine the giant defense contractors that dominate America's military-industrial base. 2, explain how these companies became so powerful and why they remain central to U.S. national security. 3, explore why rising defense spending could create significant opportunities for these companies and their investors. And 4, consider whether these industrial giants can adapt to a rapidly changing era of AI, drones, autonomous systems, and technological competition. A small group of giant companies now dominates America's traditional defense industry. Lockheed Martin, RTX, Northrop Grumman, General Dynamics, and Boeing play leading roles in military aviation, missile defense, naval shipbuilding, nuclear deterrence, space systems, and advanced weapons development. Together, these 5 companies generate more than $300 billion in annual revenue and employ hundreds of thousands of people around the world. As defense spending rises, these companies are likely to remain at the center of America's military-industrial base. Here they are, ranked by 2025 revenue: Boeing, RTX, Lockheed Martin, General Dynamics, and Northrop Grumman. To understand how today's defense giants became so dominant, we need to go back to the end of the Cold War. The collapse of the Soviet Union dramatically reduced the military threat facing the United States. As a result, defense spending fell sharply during the 1990s, and many defense programs were scaled back or canceled. The defense industry suddenly found itself with far more capacity than the Pentagon needed, creating intense pressure for consolidation. In 1993, senior Pentagon officials invited the leaders of America's largest defense contractors to a dinner that later became known as the Last Supper. Defense executives were told that defense spending was unlikely to recover and that many companies would need to merge or leave the industry. That meeting helped trigger a wave of consolidation that transformed dozens of major defense contractors into the small group of giants that dominate the industry today. During the 1990s and early 2000s, famous names such as McDonnell Douglas, Hughes Aircraft, Rockwell International, TRW, and Grumman disappeared as independent companies through mergers and acquisitions. As a result, America's military strength now depends heavily on just 5 dominant prime contractors, which we'll quickly examine in the next slides, starting with Lockheed Martin. Lockheed Martin is the world's largest defense contractor and one of the most important suppliers of military systems to the United States and its allies. The company plays a leading role in military aviation, missile defense, advanced weapons systems, and space technologies. Its products include the F-35 fighter aircraft, the HIMARS rocket system, the Javelin missile, military satellites, and missile defense systems. As a result, Lockheed Martin sits at the center of many of the Pentagon's most important military programs. The company's greatest strength is its deep integration into long-term Pentagon programs that are likely to remain priorities for decades. The company is also well positioned to benefit from rising demand for missile systems, air defense, and military modernization. However, the company relies heavily on a relatively small number of very large programs, especially the F-35. And like all traditional defense contractors, it also faces pressure to adapt to a world increasingly shaped by artificial intelligence, autonomous systems, and rapidly evolving technologies. Here is Lockheed Martin at a glance. Last year, its revenues were $75 billion. Its net profit was $5 billion. Its market capitalization is $121 billion. It employs 123,000 people. Its order backlog is $194 billion. Last year, it spent $1.6 billion on capital expenditure. It trades at 25 times earnings and has a dividend yield of 2.6%. And last year, it bought back shares. Next, RTX.